we're going to build the master index that we use for our total training course catalog. Let's move this out of the way over to the left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Pages panel back inside of the side dock and go back to my index. Now, as we did this, you may remember, as we're working with individual pages, so if I go to, for example, Randy 7, which is my InDesign courses, we've got all these individual entries that are loaded in. I'm going to take that, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build an updated index for all of these entries that we've put in. To do that, I'm going to click on this Generate Index button in the bottom center of our index panel. And what that'll do is that'll bring up the Generate Index dialog box. Now, the title of this is going to be Index. I could make it something fancier, but in this style, I don't think there's a real need to. All right, it's going to set a title style of index title, which is a brand new one that it's created when we asked it to generate the index. We could pick any of the existing paragraph styles to do this if that's something we really wanted to do. This will work well for us, though, so I'll just leave the default there. I want to include book documents, so what it'll do is it'll search through any index entries we have in any of the InDesign documents we've placed inside the book. If we had any in 1 and 2, it would put those in, but we don't have any entries put there. We have them, though, for the Adobe classes, the Apple classes, and then the Microsoft Office classes. Now, I have more options available. If I click on that, what this does, this actually gives me the ability to format the type of style that I want. It sets up with a nested style that we've got built in and will include index section headings as we've placed that in. Now, at the level 1 style, which is where I can set the rules for that, it'll set index level 1, or I could turn a new paragraph style into that if that's something I want to do. Let's select on that and see what we've got available. It's based on body copy. If I go to basic character formats, it'll show that it's times regular 10 on 11. If I go to the tabs, it doesn't show any tabs that are built in. So what it's going to do is by default, it'll set that a ½ inch from wherever the end of that type is. I want to make that a little bit different. So I'm going to move this section 1 in, go to the bottom triangle here, and I'm going to move that in 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to do the same thing over here on the right side. Then I'm going to place a right justified tab at 2 3/4 inches with a dot leader. And I'm going to say OK. That sets paragraph style 1. If I go to the next one, I have index level 2. I'm going to create a new paragraph style. And what I'll see in this case is that's set again at times regular. I'm going to make it italic. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it exactly like it was, built for body copy, or what I could do if I wanted to is I could build it off paragraph style 1. So in that case, it's set to be italic. I can take the basic character formats and switch it back. So I'll just make it regular. But the tabs will be set with all the rules that we built into there before. I can take this left side indent, though, and I can move it in a little bit further. I'm going to say in this case, that goes to 1/4 inch. Now at index level 3, what we've got set in here is we've got some with the Microsoft Office courses that actually have 3 levels. So we're going to do this one more time. I'm going to go to the new paragraph style. I'm going to base that on paragraph style 2. I'm going to take the basic character formats, and what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to make it italic once again. I'm going to go to the tabs, and I'm going to scoot that left side margin in one more time, in this case to 0.375 or 3/8 of an inch. So what it's going to do is it's going to set up 3 levels. 1, 2, and 3 for defining how my index is going to be built. Now I've got rules for setting up section headings if that's something I want to do. I can set the rules for how my page numbers are going to be done. In my case, what I could do is I could take it with that nested style to say that the section heading would be what I've set for my paragraph styles. For a page number, I could set that to always be body copy italic, so they're always going to be italic. I can also set entry separators. Following the topic, the default I have set is it puts a tab character inside of there. All the rest of this is built in. I'm going to say OK, and when I do, it's going to create a brand new index file. When I stretch that out, I'll actually be able to see how my index is built. Just like so, as it runs through the letters all the way through. Now, as I can see this is actually a fairly extensive layout, and it's going to be more than one page. We need to create a separate index section that's going to go onto the back of the book and contain this information. So once again, I'm going to go to the File pull-down menu. I'm going to go to Open. I'm going to open up the template. I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to save this one and the other publications as index. So it's a separate saved file. I'm going to go back to my Adobe classes where I created that separate index file. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go Edit, Cut. You can use the keyboard shortcut Command X if you're on a Mac or Control X if you're working on a Windows PC. And that takes the index and puts it into the clipboard. I'm going to go to the index page. And what I'm going to do in this instance is I'm going to go Edit, Paste. You could use the keyboard shortcuts Command V for the Mac, Control V if you're on a Windows PC. And it'll take that index and it's going to place it in right to that page. I'm going to drag that up just above here to where the letter F comes into play. And I'm going to drag this over, just like so. Then I'm going to click on this little plus. Going to go to the pages. Going to take a left side page and set that down there for number 2. Hold down my Shift key to get my autoflow. And what I'm going to do in this case is I'm just going to click, and that'll create page 2, and it also automatically created page 3. Now if I go to Microsoft, for M, I can see that first level. I can see the second levels here. I can even see the third level where I set those italics to be built in as I was working with these individual styles. Now that O is broken up, so I'm going to say as a matter of style, I'm going to take that and move that up just like so to create that inside of our pages. So I've got 1, 2, 3 pages. I'm going to click on MS Office Classes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more document. That document I'm going to add is my index.indd file. So when I double click on that, what that'll do is that'll change the pages from 1, 2, 3 to 21, 22, 23. And again, remember, we had that one more option that actually allows me to create page 24, a blank one, that'll go at the back end of this book. All we need to do now is print it out and check out our handiwork.